video, we'll look at two of the main sociological approaches to the study of adult education, functionalism and conflict theory. Both of these perspectives can be referred to as macro-level theories, as they are concerned with the larger social, global, and societal level of sociological phenomena. During this video, please reflect on the following analysis questions. What is functionalism and conflict theory? What are the goals of functionalism and conflict theory? Who are the main theorists who contributed to functionalism and conflict theory? And how is adult education described by functionalist and conflict theorists? Functionalism, also known as structural functionalism, is a sociological theory that is based on the assumption that society and institutions within a society are made up of interdependent parts, all working together to maintain the system in a state of balance or equilibrium. Social institutions include family, education, the economy, the media, politics, religion, leisure, etc. If these social institutions are organized around a core set of values, functionalists assume that a society will operate smoothly and efficiently. This approach is similar to the biological functioning of a human body, where each part of the human body plays a role in the total system of a human body, and all are dependent on each other for survival. When sociologists use functionalist theory to explain how a social system works, they study the ways that each part in the system contributes to the system's overall operation. An analysis based on functionalism focuses on the ways that each of these social institutions helps the larger social system to operate efficiently. The functionalist theoretical perspective on education was particularly popular during the 1960s and 70s. It made macro-level attempts to explain the function of education in the maintenance of social order. Emile Durkheim outlined a number of the basic ideas concerning the role of the education system. Durkheim's basic theoretical position was that education has three basic functions. A socialization function, in that education is a secondary agent of socialization through which individuals learn important aspects of their culture, including norms, values, and roles. Selective function. Functionalists view the education system as being like a sieve, grading pupils and students according to their ability and placing individuals in occupational roles best suited to their talents and abilities. Economic function. Education is seen to teach the skills and knowledge necessary for work in a modern, technical, industrial society. Although Durkheim's theoretical position was focused on the education of children, the same principles can be applied to the field of adult education. From a functionalist perspective, the role of adult education is to teach the necessary skills and norms for individuals to participate in society by sorting, selecting, and training people for jobs at each level in society. Conflict theory has its roots in the ideas of Karl Marx and Max Weber. The primary goal of conflict theory, similar to the goal of functionalist theory, is to develop a general theory that explains the organization and operation of all societies. Conflict theory argues that society is best understood as a competition over resources, rather than a complex system striving for equilibrium. It is based on the assumption that every society is a system of relationships and social arrangements that are shaped by economic factors. In capitalist societies, these relationships and social arrangements are organized around money, wealth, and economic power. As a result, there are struggles between social classes competing for scarce resources, such as control over the means of production, such as land, factories, and natural resources, and for a better distribution of resources, including money, food, and material goods. The interest of the dominant class is to maintain its position of power over the subordinate class by extracting as much profit as possible from their work. Conflict theory emphasizes that economic power is entrenched so deeply that progressive changes are only possible if workers become aware of the need for change and take action to make major changes in the organization of the economy. The following are three primary assumptions of conflict theory. Competition. Competition over scarce resources at the heart of all social relationships. Structural inequality. Inequality in power and reward are built into all social structures. Individuals and groups that benefit from any particular structure strive to see it maintained. Social change. Change occurs as a result of conflict between competing interests rather than through adaptation. According to conflict theory, education is shaped by economic forces and is used by the economically powerful people to increase their wealth and influence. They feel that the education system reinforces and perpetuates social inequalities arising from differences in class, gender, race, and ethnicity. According to the conflict theory, education is a powerful means of maintaining power structures and reinforcing the privileged positions of the dominant group. Given that not all adult education opportunities are free, conflict theorists could argue that the educational system screens out poor individuals not because they are unable to compete academically, but because they cannot afford to pay for their education. Because these poor are unable to obtain higher education, this means they are also unable to get higher paying jobs, which means that they remain poor. Thus, adult education can include an element of conflict and inequality, favoring the wealthy over the poor. Please reflect on the following synthesis questions. What are the key features of functionalism and conflict theory? What are the similarities and differences between functionalism and conflict theory? How does functionalism and conflict theory view education in general? And what is the purpose of adult education as viewed through a functionalist and conflict theory perspective?